Nigerian President Bola Ahmed Tinubu today inaugurated his first cabinet of federal ministers after some slight last-minute changes were effected. Speaking to me on the inauguration and specifically on the information communication technology portfolio is Lanre Osibona. He's the founder and CEO at the Foresight Group. Osibona is live to us from our Abuja studios tonight. Thanks for coming through for this interview. We appreciate it. Give me your first word. Good evening. On the inauguration of the new cabinet today.
Good evening, and thank you for having me once again. Thank you for the invitation. Well, my first word on this definitely is hopeful, very hopeful. And I'm all in on the bet on Nigeria. I'm all in as a betting man, so I'm very hopeful.
But what's your outlook on the performance expectations of the new ministerial team? If you look at the names within the cabinet, those who are politicians, those who are technocrats across the various sectors of the economy, in the manner of speaking, bringing everyone together to do the work that the president would want to get done as quickly as possible.
Yes, I think without a shadow of a doubt, I've followed closely from the screening period of the nomination of the nominees and, of course, the inauguration today. You know, I love the energy of, if I single out this, His Excellency Wike. I saw a video already, him resuming the office today right after inauguration and reading the Riot Act to them, you know. So that is extremely promising. You know, we need to get to grips with sorting out a lot of the challenges that we have. And he touched on a number of the, you know, I live in Abuja myself, a lot of the issues that we have, the whole abuse of how, you know, decent society should be. So I'm looking forward to seeing his impact. You know, speaking to people that lived under his governorship in Rivers, it's been promising. It's been, you know, great initiatives were fulfilled, projects were delivered. So I think that's a welcome development for Abuja. And, you know, we need to see this across board. We need to see the seriousness of office. Like I said, resuming right after inauguration and getting to work. That's definitely a tick. That's a good mark of a performing person, of a performing minister.
Okay, so let's chart specifically to your comfort zone, which is the ICT. Of course, you were part of the ICT team in the last immediate past administration. So the new minister in charge, Bosun Tijani, is Tijani a minister for the ICT sector? Or would you say he should be the minister of ICT for the entire economy and the country? What do you see? What would you like to see happen?
I think definitely for me, he sits amongst the top 5 of the nominees, and I'm very expectant and hopeful and trust that they will deliver, because a perfect round peg in a round hole. It's seasoned, it's very seasoned. So I'm biased in that sector as well. That's my sector, so I'm very biased. So what I'm going to say today is very much around in-depth understanding of the sector. I think it's a welcome development to have such a person as Honorable Minister Bosun Tijani, who's passionate, and passion is critical in the work that needs to be done in this country. You need to have the passion, because it's going to be painful and grueling. As eager, as excited as I am, I also find it quite daunting a challenge for him. I haven't seen the experience myself. But I think, you know, people like myself, we are committed to supporting and rallying around to make sure that he's successful, because his success is our success as well. So we need him to be successful. But to your question, I think the answer is that he's definitely a minister of the economy and the country. And the whole idea, the whole concept of digital economy is such that technology today cuts across literally every sector of the economy. So this makes his work, to a large extent, quite challenging, in the sense that he has to be you know, he needs to have the wisdom of an old person to manage the challenges ahead and the opportunities equally. some of the things that he has to be able to do is to convene interministerial in ensuring that he's able to deliver on the policies that he's going to create. So the digital economy literally will allow for a lot more efficiency, a lot more transparency and understanding of where we are as a sector. We'll avoid duplication of efforts, which will cut down on the funds that we don't have as a country. So he really has quite a lot on his table, but I'm without a shadow of a doubt, I'm certain that he will be successful. I will say he has to lean in closely with presidency to ensure the support, to ensure that there can be better coordination, especially as I mentioned, he's going to have a lot of interministerial engagement, whereby, so if I give you a good example, education going forward, we need to look at how do we deliver education in a more digital way, with EdTech. We need to look at even the health sector, the opportunities for how we can deliver health across the country. So these will require to ride on technology. So to your point, he has to be a minister for the entire economy that brings about the opportunities that the digital economy will have to bring to us. And the beauty of it is that some of the advantages that will not be beleaguered with legacy challenges, but equally we're starting from a very low base. So he has, like I said, it's a daunting challenge. He has his work cut out, but a lot of work has been done. There's been a whole lot of heavy lifting. There's been, a lot has been pushed up the deep slope or up the hill. So I think he has areas where he can record very quick wins. And it's important that he records very quick wins.
Osibona, and that's my parting question with you. What do you think should be Tijani's ministry's focus? What should he leverage on very quickly as he takes office? What should be the low-hanging fruit, in your opinion, from him, considering where we're coming from over the last administration that focuses a whole lot on ICT as well, creating hubs and all of that under the office of the vice president and what's achieved?
Yes, indeed. I mean, the truth is everything is priority right now. But my approach, my philosophy is that rather than try to boil the ocean, I'll try and boil a measurable space, a swimming pool, instead of trying to go all out. So I think one of the biggest challenges where we have is the anonymity issue, the idea of not being able to identify ourselves. So I think digital identity, being able to identify everyone in this country, the opportunities within that is just huge. It cuts across in terms of revenue generating, it cuts across in terms of tax collection, it cuts across in terms of even some of the whole idea of distributing palliatives. It cuts across how do we understand, the different categories of children, what children are below the ages of 6, what children are in the ages of primary school, what children are in the ages of secondary school. We can then, once we can do that, a whole lot of other functional sectors can build on that digital identity, even for the exciting space of the startup ecosystem. That's huge data that is available for them to actually, there's a term that we use in terms of attributes for a good startup, it's addressable market. Today, not a lot of this huge 200+ million that we have is addressable. So that will bring into the startup ecosystem huge opportunities for new markets that they can see in terms of credit lending, in terms of financial inclusion. So that is one. I think the other one that I will put on the radar for him is extending broadband connectivity, which again is a foundational pillar necessary for building a successful digital, robust digital economy. So those two, I think, are very critical because they have catalytic impact across every other aspect.
We really appreciate your ICT industry insights as always. Thank you so much. You have a pleasant evening. Lanre Osibona, founder and CEO of the Foresight Group.